Everybody was very nervous about the movie because it was 3 female leads.
The core message in 9 to 5 was, you deserve better.
Women said, wait a damn minute, I'm not going to take it anymore.
Remember that movie 9 to 5? Well, 9 to 5 is still working. And there's a movie that's called Still Working 9 to 5. And joining me right now, director-producer Camille Hardman, director-producer Gary Lane. Gary, raise your hand. That's right there. And his brother Larry Lane. He's the executive producer of this wonderful movie that's making all kinds of waves. But the most important thing is somehow you got Dolly Parton, Jane Fonda, and Lily Tomlin back together again. Wow, welcome. Nice to have you here, Camille. Tell me how you managed to put that all together.
Thank you so much for having us. And also Dabney Coleman, which is really the foursome that made that film so incredibly amazing. So, you know, having Dabney a part of it, we were so fortunate. The film came about because Gary and Larry had an idea that they wanted to do a film about 9 to 5 and all the different iterations, that it was an original film, then it was a musical, and obviously it was a song. And then they heard about the sequel. So they thought it would be really interesting to do a documentary about all of those things, you know, over the last 40 years, or 42 years to be specific. And they asked me if I wanted to be involved. And I started looking a little bit about the history of 9 to 5 and how it came out of the women's organization or women's group called 9 to 5, which was the secretaries group fighting for equal rights in the workplace. So I thought, hey, this could be a very interesting documentary to be involved in.
And I'm going to say this carefully and delicately, but Gary and Larry, you were not very old when this movie came out, if you were born at all. How was it that you became interested?
Well, actually, we kind of grew up in the South in North Carolina. So our dad and our mom, they were always fans of like the older country artists like Dolly and Kenny. So we always had Dolly around the house, and she was always somebody we knew. And then our mom really wanted to see this film. So we remember at like 5 years old going to see it in the film, because that was the only way our mom could see it, was if we went with her. So we saw it, and you know, we just kind of, Dolly was always somebody that was around us in childhood because our dad really loved her for other reasons. But anyway, so that's just a little bit about our dad. And, you know, just Dolly was there, and our mom really wanted to see it because she was a working woman at the time and dealing with issues that she was dealing with. So it resonated with her in a different way. And then we just kind of said, what has ever been a movie, a song, a TV show, a musical, a sequel with all the originals? You just don't have that and still be relevant 42 years later. It's still, you know, relevant. So,
well, I was going to ask you, Larry, have we made any progress since 42 years ago?
We've got a lot that we're still working on. I think the way we do the film, you really see how we show that 9 to 5 was right on point back in 1980, even though they made it a big comedy and they made the ladies go out and, you know, promote it as a big comedy. They were still drilling into big issues for the women's rights. And a lot of stuff today, you know, we've got the Me Too and all that. A lot of the titles have changed, but the issues are still there, you know, over 4 decades later.
And Camille, you mentioned Dabney Coleman, but of course it was the perfect foil for the three of them, because he was such a sexist pig in this movie. But in a happy-go-lucky way, we learned a lot of things about what males do to women in the workplace that we perhaps weren't aware of up until that movie came out.
Yeah, I think, you know, with Dabney Coleman, it was very, very clever casting, because you never, ever, you know, despised him or disliked him, but he really did reflect the values of the time. So men could look and laugh and then go, ooh, I may behave like that or have behaved like that, or my colleague or my father or whomever. So, you know, I think it gave a little bit of men pause. And I think that was the really smart thing about this film, was they did do it as a comedy. So it didn't alienate people, and it also invited everybody to come and see, because, you know, as Jane Fonda says in our film, if I made a feminist film, you know, I wouldn't want to see it. No one would want to come and see it. So it's a way, as we all know, doing something as a comedy is a way of really showing issues, and that people can laugh, but they can also look back and go, oof, yeah, maybe it's time that we change that behavior.
One of my favorite lines. Go ahead.
That also is kind of how we did this edit, because with our film, you kind of have that 9 to 5 fandom that's going to bring a lot of people to watch the film. but then we start hitting on the issues, but then, oh, here comes Dolly, Lily, and Jane again. So we had to do a fine line with our edit to keep people entertained and well informed about what's still going on.
No doubt you've executed it, I'm sure, perfectly, and I can't wait to see the film. It's funny because, of course, you remember the song 9 to 5 was a huge hit, and I guess Dolly and Kelly Clarkson are going to do a version of that. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we have to give credit. Steve Summers is one of our executive producers. He's Dolly's creative manager, and then Shane McAnally is also an executive producer. So we were having a meeting in Nashville with all three of us and Steve and Shane as well, and Steve said, to Shane, can you kind of play around with 9 to 5, maybe do a different arrangement? Can you just maybe change it up? And so we give Steve credit for that. And then Lord knows Shane came back like 3 months later and just blew the doors off with what he had done to the song. And then when Dolly heard it, we were told she squealed, and then she wanted to make it a duet. So then it turned into a duet, and Kelly came on board, and it's just been a whirlwind. I told Camille, we make a joke about it. We could make another documentary just on making that duet, because it's been such a crazy adventure around trying to edit and finish the film, but it's all kind of come together now for the perfect storm. But also the documentary, we're revamping the documentary from the original movie. So we're so honored that we have this song now exclusive for our documentary that we helped create, because it's going to give a revamp to the song, because Dolly's version in 1980 was real fun and upbeat, and this is a little bit slower and darker and more haunting because it's still going on today.
And the other thing that I'll add to that, it's going to bring a whole new audience to the film and to our film. We've talked to so many young women who've seen Kelly Clarkson be involved in this, and they're like, wow, we want to know what it's all about, and have gone off and watched 9 to 5, the original film, and all of those issues still, resonate with them today. So it's been really fun having the new duet be involved with our documentary.
So you have the new spin, but you have Camille, I imagine, working with the icons, these three women, iconic stars in their own right in every way. How do you corral the three of them? How do you get through and say, look, when you look back at the last 40 years of your life and seeing what has changed? I mean, tell me about that experience with the three of them. And then I'm going to mention that Rita Moreno's also in it, and so is Allison, Janney, who was on stage with the musical part. But let's talk about the three of them, Dolly, Jane, and Lily.
I think the first thing is you don't corral them. There is no way that you can corral Lily, Dolly, and Jane. But look, we were really lucky. Gary and Larry had a really good relationship with Dolly Parton from their first documentary, Hollywood to Dollywood. So we had that, because they had that relationship, she really trusted that we were going to do something good with this film. So we got her interview, fairly early on. And once you get Dolly, that means there's a trust with other people. So, and then after that, Lily came on board. She was absolutely fantastic. And then the last one we got was Jane. For a number of reasons, I think she wanted to see everybody else get involved first, but also she had a very, very, difficult schedule because she was doing Fidril Friday and was living in Washington at that stage. But to have those three women involved was absolutely incredible for us and crucial. I mean, each one of them has, as you mentioned, this incredible iconic status, but also have fought for, women's rights, for people's rights, for equality, and they still do that today.
Well, congratulations to the three of you for making a great film. You've got an amazing cast, a great crew that's put this all together. And again, it's going to be on at South by Southwest. I can't wait to see it on Netflix. And Larry, you have something to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, please, because we've got such great attention. We're already getting into other big film festivals as well. So people can follow our journey at stillworking9to5.com.
Fantastic.
And also, Netflix, we haven't sold yet, so we're hoping to get a big streamer platform. So it could be Netflix, but we don't want to put that out there yet.
Well, let's put it out there. But I want to share my favorite line from 9 to 5, and that is, I'm going to turn you from a rooster into a hen, and then in one shot.
And don't think I can't do it.
And don't think I can't do it. Thank you to the three of you. Thank you. Congratulations on a great film. I can't wait to hear more about it. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.